Hey y'all, welcome to Rebel Rock TV and to the very first episode of Let's Review. Today we're going to be reviewing Project Regeneration Vol.1 by Static X. Enjoy! So guys, I'm so glad to have you back here on my channel for actually the very first review on this channel, and today we're talking about Project Regeneration Vol.1, which is the album that Static X, after their reunion, put together and released this past summer. I think I got the album back in late August or first days of September. I can't remember at the moment, but around that time. And this got me really impressed. Obviously this wanted to be a throwback to the old days. It wanted to be a celebration of 1999 album Wisconsin Death Trip, which was the very first Static X album. That was the album that made Static X famous as an industrial metal band. And this album is really trying to go back to their roots, unlike albums like Shadow Zone, which was the first one that tried to sound a little more alternative and not too fast-paced or industrial-like. Star Wars followed that path as well. Then things started to change with the release of Cannibal and Cult of Static, which were albums that they made Static X sound very different. In Cannibal, we started hearing guitar solos, a different voice, a different way of singing by Wayne. And from that point on, from 2007 going forward, till the release of Cult of Static, which was the last Static X album before Wayne's death occurred in 2014. Personally, I love Cult of Static because they experimented a minimalistic sound that, man, that was that kind of metal that made me actually fall in love with metal. I love those repetitive chords that made it sound so badass, and I don't know. How can I describe it? Man, so simple-minded in not a negative way. Totally not a negative way. I love this kind of music. I love this structure that Static X brought into the industrial metal scene and to the metal scene in general. But let's go back to this amazing album, which, like I said, sounds more like a throwback to the old days. They definitely made it sound like made it sound and look, because we're gonna get in depth later with designs and imagery and all that stuff. But this, to me, looks like a late 90s, early 2000 techno music album. I don't know, it doesn't look anything like a metal album, but yeah, as a reminder of that old Wisconsin Death Trip style, they put in this record a ton of digital sounds, those electronic beats that can make the melody sound like pure evil disco. Like I said, you can definitely hear strong Wisconsin Death Trip influences. With that, I mean upbeat songs, you know, those fast-paced tracks that really make you go nuts. What they did is they mixed those old school melodies with some newer, I'm talking 2003, 2005 kind of melodies. You know, those alternative sounds from Shadow Zone and Star Wars, which were, to me personally, a little darker. What they did is mixing those old school melodies with some alternative melodies, like the ones you heard in records like Shadow Zone and Star Wars, which were much more alternative than the previous two albums. Talking Wisconsin Death Trip and Machine. So with that said, this creates a good balance, a very good balance between, you know, fast-paced and slow-paced melodies. Again, it makes it really enjoyable. Speaking of the lyrics and the fact that this album is also meant to be a tribute to the former singer Wayne Static, which has been replaced by Zero. They used some old audio tapes recorded by Wayne Static. I think started from 2004 and going forward, with some brand new Zero recordings. So they combine the old Static X era with the new, with the revival of Static X. What I love about this album is that it's a flush of explosive energy. It'll truly make you go nuts, especially on a few tracks. If you listen to those, man, nobody can fucking save you. Anyways, speaking of Wayne's voice, I think they used a little too many high-tone screams. Personally, I prefer the way he used to sing in records like Cannibal, and started to, you know, experiment that specific voice technique in Cannibal. And he really pushed in that direction in Cult of Static, you know, that growl-like sounding voice, which when I first heard that record, I didn't like it at all. But when I went back to it years later, I'm talking this past 2 years, I fell in love with it, and that became probably my favorite Static X album. So I think that was enough. Let's go in depth and see how this amazing record looks. Okay, let's take a quick overlook about the album cover and the booklet. And the jewel case in general, obviously. This is the cover. I love how the Static X logo looks on this one. It's probably the best one yet. There's the faded Wisconsin Death Trip detail in the background. Like I said, it truly doesn't look like a heavy metal album. This looks like a, you know, those techno and hardcore music they used to play in rave parties back in the 90s. That's very similar, but I mean, this is Evil Disco. It's not just disco, okay? So it's something even stronger than that. Anyways, here's the song list. And by the way, it's very beautiful design, very futuristic. But the thing I love the most about the whole design is the disc. I love this electric blue design. I know it looks like a core electric energy that it's about to explode as you press play. I just love the idea. First of all, the colors are amazing, but the idea that this made me feel, it really sets the mood for a proper listen. Here's a tribute to Wayne Static. This album is dedicated to the loving memory of our dear friend and your hero, Mr. Wayne Static. 1965, 2014. Rest in peace, dear Wayne, and thank you for what you have done for us, sharing your passion and your creativity. Here's a bigger song list in case you missed the one in the back of the jewel case. This to me feels and looks like a Matrix-like design. It truly reminds me of the Matrix trilogy. Here we have Tony Campos, Koichi Fukuda. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about this very special album is that the original lineup of the band reunited to come up with this regeneration idea. Obviously, they had to replace Wayne with the new singer Zero, which is right here. But then, yeah, like I said, we have Tony Campos, Koichi, Ken J playing the drums. Here we have an amazing photograph of the band. All the lyrics. And obviously there's going to be a part 2. Actually, as I'm releasing this video, the band is already working on the project. So this is it for the in-depth look. Now I'll tell you what my top 5 chart is. Okay guys, that was it for this review. I truly want to know what your thoughts are about this album, and I'll let you know what my top 5 chart is. I accidentally turned on my old Xbox 360, but no big deal. I'll just put it back to sleep. Good night. Perfect. Like I was saying, I'm so curious about what your top 5 chart is. Speaking of the tracks on this record, mine is Something of My Own, first place, totally first place, because I love those Shadow Zone influences. Second place goes to Atsigo Placebo. That is the most devastating song of the record because man, I don't even know how to describe it. Thought the camera stopped recording. I was speaking about Atsigo Placebo. I don't even know a way to describe how powerful and explosive this song is. Just be aware that if you haven't heard it before and you do it in, you know, the wrong place and at the wrong time, you might cause some trouble, okay? Be aware of that song if you're listening to it while driving. Because the first time, the second time I listened to that song, I was driving. Third place goes to Follow. This song, it's just my kind of metal, okay? Go listen to it. Like I said, let me know what you think. Fourth place, Dead Souls. Like in past Static X albums, they usually saved the, I don't want to say the best track of the record, but the most revolutionary one. I mean, let's go back to Wisconsin that trip. We had December at the end. I don't think you can hear a track like that in any other heavy metal record. No, we had also Invincible and Shadows on those weird Static X tracks that don't normally sound like Static X would sound. Here we have Dead Souls, which is, it's an amazing track, and in some way it also, it sounds like something hypnotic. I don't know, it has a weird vibe to it. Not bad, but it'll make you calm down after listening to this powerful record, definitely. And at the 5th place, I'm gonna put Bring You Down, which they also released a music video for that song. It's one of the singles they released before the album launch. And that's it, guys. Please let me know what you thought about this review. If you have any suggestions, any questions, leave a comment down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go do it. Make this community grow so that many more people can connect with each other and share their thoughts, their passion about this amazing music we love to listen to, okay? So, have a great day, and I truly hope to see you soon in the next video. Keep rocking on, and share love. I love you.